The Epistle of Barnabas, chapter 5. For it was for this reason that the Lord endured to deliver up his flesh to corruption, that we should be sanctified by the remission of sin, that is, by his sprinkled blood. For the scripture concerning him relates partly to Israel, partly to us, and it speaks thus: He was wounded for our transgressions, and bruised for our iniquities. By his stripes we were healed. He was brought as a sheep to the slaughter, and as a lamb dumb before its shearer. Therefore we ought to give great thanks to the Lord, that he has given us knowledge of the past and wisdom for the present, and that we are not without understanding for the future. And the scripture says, Not unjustly are the nets spread out for the birds. This means that a man deserves to perish who has a knowledge of the way of righteousness, but turns aside into the way of darkness. Moreover, my brethren, if the Lord endured to suffer for our life, though he is the Lord of all the world, to whom God said before the foundation of the world, Let us make man in our image and likeness, how then did he endure to suffer at the hand of man? Learn. The prophets who received grace from him prophesied of him, and he, in order that he might destroy death and show forth the resurrection from the dead, because he needs must be made manifest in the flesh, endured in order to fulfill the promise made to the fathers, and himself prepare for himself the new people, and show while he was on earth that he himself will raise the dead and judge the risen. Furthermore, while teaching Israel and doing such great signs and wonders, he preached to them and loved them greatly. But when he chose out his own apostles, who were to preach his gospel, he chose those who were iniquitous above all sin, to show that he came not to call the righteous but sinners. Then he manifested himself as God's Son. For if he had not come in the flesh, men could in no way have been saved by beholding him, seeing that they have not the power when they look at the sun to gaze straight at its rays, though it is destined to perish, and is the work of his hands. So then the Son of God came in the flesh for this reason, that he might complete the total of the sins of those who persecuted his prophets to death. For this cause he endured. For God says of the chastisement of his flesh that it is from them. When they shall smite their shepherd, then the sheep of the flock shall be destroyed. And he was willing to suffer thus, for it was necessary that he should suffer on a tree. For the prophet says of him, Spare my soul from the sword, and nail my flesh, for the synagogues of the wicked have risen against me. And again he says, Lo, I have given my back to scourges, and my cheeks to strokes, and I have set my face as a solid rock.